Hello and welcome everyone to the Environment Primer series of Drishti IAS. My name is Pragya, and in today's episode of Environment Primer, we are going to discuss a very interesting case study of a small village in the Moga district of Punjab and how that whole village is showing us solutions to achieve environmental sustainability. The title of our today's discussion is Towards Environmental Sustainability, a case study. In this discussion, we are going to study about the following points. The first point we'll see that what is environmental sustainability or the meaning of this term environmental sustainability. We are going to then study the case study of this village, namely Ransi Kalan. It is a very small district in the Moga district of Punjab, and it is definitely leading the way towards environmental sustainability. And in the end, we are going to see a practice question for your prelims examination and a practice question for your mains examination. So if I talk about the background of our today's topic, this Ransi Kalan is a very small village in the Moga district of Punjab. And whenever we talk about environment, we often talk about the problems, okay, that we are reeling under the worst impact of climate change, global warming, pollution, etc. So all of these include problems only. And how many times do we talk about solutions? Not often. So this village is actually showing us the paths towards following a solution-centric approach rather than a problem-centric approach. It is clearly leading the way in showing us how, as a community, we can come together and solve most of the impacts of climate change or global warming or pollution, and how can we develop a very sustainable future. So this brings us to the moot question of our today's discussion, that what is environmental sustainability? So if I talk about this term, environmental sustainability in very layman language, it means that we need to utilize our natural resources in such a way that the future generation can also benefit from those natural resources. And this is known as sustainable development. And this is the whole idea behind the Sustainable Development Goals or our 2030 agenda to reduce climate change. Okay, so human well-being is closely linked to the health of the environment, definitely. We human needs fresh air to breathe. We human need clean water to drink. We need a sustainable environment, a naturally free environment that is free from pollution, etc. But what are we getting in return? We are getting in return, due to natural and human activities itself, a non-clean environment, non-clean water, and a toxic air to breathe. So all of these requires solution, because these are the parts of the problem and we are trying to find solutions towards them. So around the world, 24% of deaths can be traced back to the avoidable environmental factors, according to the WHO. So what does this statement mean? That World Health Organization or the WHO is stating that due to natural and human activities towards the degradation of our environment, 24% deaths are being caused, and these deaths can be completely avoided if we follow a path towards building a sustainable future. We follow a path towards ending the degradation of our environment by human activities, and that is how we can avoid these deaths that is happening due to environmental degradation. So sustainable development means, as has been defined by the US Environmental Protection Agency. So sustainable development means meeting today's needs without compromising the ability of the future generations to meet their needs. So this is the definition of sustainable environment or sustainability or environmental sustainability that has been given by the US Environmental Protection Agency. Further, environmental sustainability is also a responsibility that is cast on us, the future present generation, to conserve natural resources and protect global ecosystems to support health and well-being now and in the future as well. So this is what I was explaining to you, that it includes meeting today's demands without compromising the ability of the future generation to meet their demands. Okay, and this in short is known as environmental sustainability, sustainable development, and sustainability as a concept, as a whole, means this only, that a responsibility is being cast on the present generation. Why? Because we have also inherited these natural resources from our predecessors. So this is our responsibility to use them judicially so that the future generation, our future generation, can also take advantage of them. Because so many decisions that impact the environment are not felt immediately. This is true. A decade back, no one was serious about the impacts of climate change. But now the countries are coming together. Every day in news, you will hear about only one topic, that is climate change, climate change, climate change. Why? Because climate change is actually here. We are feeling the impacts of climate change. So that is why our minds are now driven to the solutions, driven to the threat of the climate change. So the climate change impacts that we are feeling right now are very less, but if we don't fulfill our sustainable development goals or the 2030 agenda, definitely our future generations are going to feel the worst impacts of climate change. And that is why I'm reiterating this fact again and again, that we need environmental sustainability, a sustainable model of development, so that the future generations can be saved from the worst impacts of the climate change, global warming, pollution, environmental degradation, etc. A key element of environmental sustainability is its forward-looking nature. Definitely, environmental sustainability not only talks about preserving our environment today, as I have explained, it also has a forward-looking nature. It also talks about preserving the environment for our future generations. Now let us understand the concept of sustainability through a pictorial representation. So this is a pictorial representation of the sustainability that we are trying to achieve. Okay, so environmental factors plus social factors. Okay, this is a Venn diagram and I'm trying to explain this to you. So just understand that if we mix social factors and environmental factors, they both should come together to work so as to make the environment bearable for the survival of the human life form on earth or other life forms on earth. Okay, so whatever we are doing socially is impacting the environment, and whatever is happening in the environment is impacting us socially. For example, climate change, isn't it impacting us socially as well? Yes, it is impacting. Human activities that are going on, indiscriminate deforestation, etc., land degradation, then soil erosion that is happening. We are continuously cutting down our trees, which in turn leads to deforestation and problems such as soil erosion. Then there is plastic waste as well. So there are many human activity related problems, the impacts on which the environment is also facing. So if we want to have a sustainable model of development, then both of these factors need to coexist, and that is how we'll make our surrounding bearable in nature. Then environment plus economic factors make the sustainable development viable. We need to consider economic development as well. We need to consider the economic loss caused by loss of our environment as well. If it is very much, definitely that model is not viable. But if by economic reforms we are trying to contribute towards the environment, then definitely that model will be viable. Then social plus economic factors create an equitable environment. So not only we should pay heed to the urban civilization, the problem of urban people, we should also pay heed to the problems of the rural people. We need to increase their participation in our environmental protection activities, and that is why it is saying that social plus economic will be equitable in nature. So all of these three factors combined together, and they are in a form of circles. So we need to pay heed to all of these factors to achieve a sustainable development model. And that is why what we are trying to achieve, and that is why we are often talking about sustainability. Not only social sustainability, not only environmental sustainability, not only economic sustainability, but all of these three. Okay, so this was all about sustainability. Now let us proceed to further to understand the case study of this small village known as Ransi Kalan, which is definitely leading the path in maintaining environmental sustainability, or showing us the path towards a group effort or a community level effort we can do to attain environmental sustainability. So at a time when stubble burning is hotly debated, this village has achieved zero stubble burning. You will be surprised to know that there are no stubble burning that is practiced by this village. Every year on the onset of winter season, the Delhi air chokes. Why? Because of the stubble burning issue. It is one of the major factors causing air pollution in Delhi and the poor AQI in Delhi. Okay, so this stubble burning has been completely stopped in this village. Let us see how. So last year the village offered rupees 500 per acre to the farmers if they did not resort to burning stubble. So this is a very great initiative taken by this village, the people of this village, that they offer rupees 500 per acre to marginalized farmers who are not able to afford the residue burning machines or advanced technologies to prevent stubble burning, and hence they used to resort to stubble burning. So last year what did this village do, the people of this village do? They provided them monetary benefits so as to stop them from burning their stubble. Then they also acquired several crop residue management machines from their panchayat and distributed them for free. This is a very great step. Any of the panchayat can replicate this model, that you acquire from the government the product waste management machines and you distribute them for free to the marginalized farmers who are not able to afford them. So by collective responsibility, by help of community participation, definitely every environmental issue can be resolved. Now let us see some of the other measures that the village is taking to make itself environmentally sustainable. So the other measures include saving water. Whenever we talk about our environmental sustainability, we talk about how we are losing our water. We have discussed this topic of saving the water in our environment primer series as well, when we were discussing the UN water conference. Water though is an infinite resource, but we are depleting our water resources, and the rate of depletion is more than the rate of discharge, and that is why we are talking about conserving water, because water is very essential for sustenance of human life forms on earth. If we'll not have water, definitely the worst impacts will follow. So the village started using treated sewage water around a decade ago for irrigation. So when we were talking about the PUSA 44 ban, we talked about how Punjab and Haryana are losing their groundwater at a rapid rate. Groundwater depletion is a huge problem in India. India is currently reeling under the groundwater crisis. And India is one of the largest consumers of this groundwater. So what this village is doing to irrigate their lands, they have started using treated sewage water. That means converting the wastewater into useful water, and they have been very successful in this initiative. Again, they are showing us the way. We can also use the wastewater. Other states can also follow. It can be followed on national level. But we need awareness for that, and this village is definitely creating an awareness how to use your bad water for irrigation, because in India agriculture is highly dependent on the monsoon, and if you look at the monsoon patterns as of now, they are very erratic, and that is losing us our food crops, especially crops such as rice, wheat, maize, which are highly dependent on water. They are water intensive crops and they are the food staples of the whole of the India. So to save these crops from damage, we can definitely follow this irrigation method. Almost 100 acres of agricultural lands benefit from this method in this village. They also collect excess water from ACs and ROs. See, this is also another important initiatives. You see that whenever we install AC, we have an outdoor unit and the water keeps dripping from that outdoor unit. How many of you actually put in a bucket there? I don't think so many of us use this model, like putting up a bucket there or trying to conserve that water, or trying to conserve the water we gets that gets treated by the RO systems which we use for clean drinking water. So these people have actually utilized those water as well, so that they can use it for irrigation purposes. Then there is rainwater harvesting. Rainwater harvesting, new ways of rainwater harvesting are being focused by the Indian scientists now. We were discussing then this when we were discussing the step well technology to save water, or step well technology of rainwater harvesting. So what does the people of this village do? They distribute 20-liter can to every household during the monsoon season, and they ask them to harvest the or conserve the rainwater so that it can be utilized later. And rainwater harvesting should be followed on a national level. Awareness should be raised because monsoons have actually become very erratic. So whenever there is an excess of monsoon, you can store the rainwater and definitely utilize it for your future needs. Then if I talk about the plastic waste management, plastic waste management is a big problem in India. Single-use plastic has turned into a menace. Single-use plastic has turned into a menace in India. It is a great problem that the government is forced to ban the use of single-use plastic. You might have seen that for the educated citizens, the aware citizens, they carry their own poly bag to the markets, and even now we are getting our food stuff, etc., and clothes in the brown paper bags rather than the single-use plastic. So to effectively manage plastic, the village has a plastic waste management unit that will be installed recently. The unit will help in turning plastic waste into waste items such as water pipes, chairs, stools, etc. So again, a very good initiative that can be followed on the national level as well. You can recycle the plastic, you can use the plastic for making other plastic items, okay, and this will help boosting the economy as well. The village economy will definitely benefit from these kinds of measures that they are taking. Then recycling of plastic. Okay, so what happens in this village is they follow a unique barter system. You bring the plastic to concerned authorities, you will get sugar and jaggery in return. So see, such a unique idea that they are following, that okay, barter system can be followed. So whatever the plastic is recyclable, they go to the concerned authorities, give that recyclable plastic to them, and in turn they receive sugar and jaggery. So recycling is also taught by them to us, that okay, this is how you can build community efforts and try to find out solution to most of the environmental problems. Then there are other measures that are taken by this village as well, such as the widow pension scheme. Widow pension scheme. So in this widow pension scheme, they give rupees 750 to the widows from marginalized communities. In fact, they also have a dedicated medical health insurance coverage for the poor families. So what do? They collect rupees 1 from each of the household that are affluent, or even if they are not affluent, 1 rupee is not a big amount. And they provide coverage up to rupees 1 lakh to the poor family to satisfy their medical needs in case of emergency. So see the innovation that is happening in a small village, and this is a small article that has been covered in the Indian Express newspaper. But we need to talk about more such efforts, more such villages that are following all of these activities and definitely leading us to the environmental sustainability. Now let us see some of the national measures that are taken by the Indian government to promote environmental sustainability. So the first initiative is the National Action Plan on Climate Change. Very ambitious plan that not only teaches about the threats of climate change but also tries to find solutions to the problem of the climate change. It was launched in the year 2008 by the Prime Minister's Council on Climate Change, and it is a very important plan, and various other missions such as National Hydrogen Mission, such as National Solar Mission, National Water Mission, etc. fall under this National Action Plan on Climate Change mission. Then there is National Mission on Green India. It was launched in the year 2001. And it aims to restore the forest cover of India, because forests in India are being cut down indiscriminately to development. So this aims to restore the depleting forest covers in India. Then there is National Mission for Sustainable Habitat. In urban cities, due to indiscriminate development that is going on, urban housing has become a contentious issue, a critical issue. They are struggling to accommodate their population. One of the main causes is this population boom as well. So many of the people are trying to migrate from the village areas to urban areas. So this National Mission for Sustainable Habitat talks about the building a sustainable habitat in the urban areas and managing the space for accommodating the population well in the urban areas. So with this we come to a conclusion of our today's discussion. We have seen how a small village is showing us actually the solution driven path we can follow to achieve sustainable development, and definitely we can think about these solutions on national level as well. Now let us discuss a practice question for your prelims examination. So see, this is a village pond of this Ranisa Kalan village. See how clean the water is, and they have achieved it through community efforts. They have cleaned their water of the river bodies. Okay, so all of this can be achieved by community efforts. Then see, this was the barter system which I was talking about while stating about the management of plastic waste. They get sugar and jaggery in return when they submit their recyclable plastic in to the concerned authorities. Okay, so all of these measures the village is taken towards achieving environmental sustainability. Now let us discuss a practice question for your prelims exam. The question is, consider the following statements. Your statement number 1 is, environmental sustainability is an important component of the sustainable development goals. Your statement number 2 is, National Action Plan on Climate Change is the government initiative to promote environmental sustainability. Which of the following statements given above are correct? Your options are, option A is only 1, option B is only 2, option C is both 1 and 2, and option D is none of the above. Kindly drop your answers in the comment box below. Now let us see a practice question for your mains examination. So the question is, what do you understand by environmental sustainability? Discuss measures to promote it. You will start from whatever I have discussed in my lecture today, introduction, that it is a responsibility cast on the present generation to use the resources so as the ability of the future generation to use them is not compromised. We are trying to sustainably develop. You can discuss this case study as well, that how are they effectively saved themselves from stubble burning. They are effectively managing their plastic, and they are also planning a large scale afforestation drive. Not only this village is also planning to turn the organic manure into agricultural use. Okay, so they are trying to recycle whatever they can. They are trying to reuse the environmental resources to show the village as environmentally sustainable. You can also write the national initiatives such as the National Action Plan on Climate Change, National Mission for Green India, National Mission on Sustainable Habitat. Whatever I have discussed in my lecture today, you can write by citing the case study of this village, that we can adopt these measures nationally as well. And you can conclude holistically that environmental sustainability is the need of the hour. We need to have sustainable development so as the future generation do not face the worst impact of climate change. I hope this session was insightful for you. If you have any feedback regarding this session, kindly drop it in the comment box below. If you liked today's discussion and found it to be helpful, kindly like the video and subscribe to our channel for more such updates. Thank you.